Hello and welcome to my channel, His Girls DIYs. Today I am going to show you 3 projects that were all inspired by Just and Maine. Now I love the website and the products. I've chosen 3 projects from them, 3 items from them, and I have turned them into my own. I hope you like them, so if you do, appreciate you give me the thumbs up. And if you want to see more what I create DIYs like this, then go ahead and subscribe so that you can see more of that. Now I am also in Instagram, Facebook, and an Etsy seller where I show a lot of what I do with paper. I am a paper crafter and I make things like this. This is paper roses and a lot of other paper flowers. Now on this sites, on this social media, you will find me as His Girl Petals and Designs. I'm gonna go ahead and link everything up, but right now I appreciate you stop by and go ahead and let's get started with this project. Well, for this project, we're going to start with a waste paper basket from the Dollar Tree. One of these cake trays, also found at the Dollar Tree. One of these paper clips, cups, also found at the Dollar Tree. And I bought these knobs at Home Goods. Now I'm only going to be using one. This is floral tape. Now we're going to begin by detaching the base of the smaller base of this waste paper basket. Now the way that I'm detaching it here, I'm showing you closer, is that we're going to just go ahead and cut with these pliers where it meets that base, and we're going to do that all around. It's pretty easy to do so. Now once detached, you are not going to need that base anymore. We're going to be using and paying all of our attention to the wire basket. Now I'm using my floral wire, and as you could see, I went ahead and tied it on there, and it was not planned. However, it became the best thing I did for this project. Now the one thing that we're going to do, and I do want to say that it is kind of tedious because it's just time consuming. It is not hard at all. So we're going to weave the wire, in and out through every single hole. And this is the time that you could go ahead and put on a movie or a nice song. I do have to say, usually whenever I'm doing these videos, I'm usually listening to one of the sermons online, either from my church or other places. So that is how I pass the time. Now I am halfway done, and this is where I'm showing you that it was the best thing that I did to kind of have that little tie that I did to that wire, that little knot that I did, because it allowed for that for the wire to prevent from pulling out. Now honestly, this just takes a little bit of arm strength, but I am not the strongest person, so it was not super hard. And as you could see, as you're doing it, it starts creating a dome shape on the top. On the top. I'm just kind of taking from inside to flatten out. Honestly, it was just the little spikes of the wire. I didn't want that to hurt my hands. Now I did it without gloves. You could go right ahead and put on some either gardening gloves or one of those workout gloves or mechanic gloves, so just to protect your hands, but I was able to do it without it. Now I'm just tying it. I'm just making sure that there are no bumps, that is kind of evenly done, the dome shape. Now this little thing, I did not show it at the beginning, and this was just the cap from one of my Thanksgiving candles. I do save all of those lids, and that is what I used. Now, in order to glue it on, you are going to need something to adhere it to. So that's why I cut that little piece of cereal box. And now we're just going to glue it right into place. And honestly, just hot glue did it. I had the permanent glue there just in case, but it did the trick. Now let's move on to the cake platter, which is going to be the base for a dome. Now here in the middle, I am using some all-purpose adhesive, also found at the Dollar Tree, as well as some hot glue. And this reminds me of one of the YouTubers, Heidi Stumble, when she usually says that she uses those two glues as a temporary and a permanent hold. So yes, it makes total sense. Now there it is. It's all formed, and now we're ready to paint. Now I'm using these I went ahead and found every gray shade of paint that I had in my stash, because I wanted to create kind of like a galvanized or kind of like a stone look to this. If you saw in the inspiration, that's the kind of what it had. I am dabbing the paint, because if you start just smearing it, it does not work. So not only that, but it really worked to help give it that that kind of style that I was going for. Now you do have to just make sure that you cover your base, your platter, the dome, everything with that same paint, just to make sure that it all looks cohesive and it all belongs to the same project. Now this was really fun. I truly enjoyed just playing with the different paints and trying to create the shadings, the depth, to give it that look. It was really fun. It was the longest part of this project, and I think it was just because I made it that way, because I was enjoying it. You could easily just take the spray paint and paint it any color you desire, but this is what I was going for. So I do want to tell you, before I forget, this was not my original idea. This idea came from Jerry Ann Henson, and I will go ahead and link her name, and I will try to find that video. I watched her video back in the fall last year of her creating a dome like this from a wire waste paper basket from the Dollar Tree. And I watched it at that time, and I did nothing with it. It was just like, oh, nice idea. But then I saw this item from a Joann Main's website, and it reminded me of what she had done. So I went ahead and went back to that video, which was done in, I believe it was fall of last year. And she did a little bit more of a kind of farm style / country design to kind of, it was beautiful. But it reminded me of this, and that's what I thought. I'm like, perfect, I will go ahead and do it just that way. So I will link her video, because I believe is to give honor to whom honor is due. So you could go ahead and see her original design as well. So what do you think it looks like? How's it looking? I'm telling you, I loved painting and giving it all of this different shading, and that's why I am showing you all of the steps. And now, after this, we are done. Oh, I did lose footage of me gluing the top little knob to this. So I'm sorry, but this is how it looks. It only took was the same all-purpose glue, and I believe it looks beautiful. I loved also decorating, putting that little bird in its nest. It was just adorable. I hope you like it, and if you like this project so far, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more of this kind of content coming up. All right, ready for project number 2. And we're going to be using the chopping mats from Dollar Tree, as long as the long, skewers from the Dollar Tree, the white spray paint, this gold spray paint, and the Gorilla Glue, or another type of adhesive, because I didn't know that the Gorilla Glue I had run out of it. And look at all of the tools. All right, let's pay attention to this. And I hope you really could see all of the measurements. I did it in wax paper, and I will strongly recommend for you to do it on wax paper and to do the actual measurements on the perimeter of this shape. Sorry, English is not my first language. And so I'm giving you all of the measurements there. And it helps to do it on a wax paper, because it helps by gluing. Now I'm cutting it, and it was so simple to cut this little piece of skewer. I'm marking it right there. Take my pliers, my husband's pliers, and there you have it. Now, one of the things that I did is that if you see, all of my little dowels are marked with the same measurement, just so that with this measurement, just so that I know where they belong. This is where I told you that the wax paper, doing it on wax paper, making the drawing on the wax paper, the template, it was the best thing to do for this project, because I am gluing it right on there, and it is not gluing on to the wax paper. It's just gluing to itself. There you go. Now every single, I would say, don't drown it with glue. Every end, just put enough glue to make sure that it stays on there. And once you do that, you're going to take your hot glue gun and go a second time and put a little bit more glue on every part these two sticks meet. This is my 6-inch, and the 6-inch is going to go, there's going to be 2 of them right in the middle, and it's going to kind of lift them up like in a little hill kind of way. Now notice that I'm going 1 inch below where these two meet in the middle. On each side, I'm marking 1 inch below that meeting place. And as I'm gluing it, I'm gluing at an angle. And there it is. That's the reason why you're gluing it. I'm gluing it on an angle, because you're going to connect them right in the middle, giving that 3-dimensional shape. This is the part that is going to hold the weight of these 2 previous ones. And as I said, every time you're connecting these sticks, you always want to go a second time just to make sure that they're glued in place. I did not need to use wood glue. The hot glue held just fine. The little small piece that I'm gluing is supposed to be going towards the back. Now we're going to be gluing the back piece, and this is so that you could see it just needed to be the right size, and I am gluing it so that it could be parallel with the sticks up front. Now I saw this design on Joann, Maine, and as soon as I saw it, I said, this is so doable. I'm making this for my daughter. Now here I am using this little pliers in there for scrapbooking, and just to make sure that I'm taking off any excess glue, just cutting it off, because if you don't do it, and this was the second one I did, the first one it was just a practice one, but if you leave all those dots of glue, you will see it as soon as you paint it. You will see every single one of those. I wanted to make it look like as if it was brass or copper wire. That was what I was going for. Now you see, I was using just a regular nail enamel to sand it down, just to make sure that it went on every single crevice. And can I say enough about this gold paint? This is from Walmart, and it costs about $4, and it is the best one I've ever used. Now here's something else that I want you to pay attention to, which is the second template, and it is going to be for the inside, for the planter. The best way to do it is to create a template, because that's how you're going to cut it to place, but it is also going to help you to know exactly where it meets in the middle. And you will see it. You see where I'm marking it right there in between those triangles. Now I'm making the exact line, and I'm using a scoring tool to do this, and this is going to help mark the middle part where I have to be bending it. This is not the easiest thing to bend if you do not score it first. I needed to make sure that I was going to fold it in a very straight line, so by scoring it first, it allowed me to do just that. And I will recommend you use a cutting board as you see me use, because otherwise it will mark your surface. There it is. Once you score it, it becomes so much easier to bend it exactly on the line you need it to. Just pressing both down, and there it is, perfectly done. Now notice that the matte finish is facing the outside. The shiny side, this shiny finish, is facing the inside of the planter. And that is because it helps the paint to adhere to itself later when you go into spray paint it. Now this part, I was kind of burning a little bit my fingers there. I would recommend, if you have some one of those finger guards, silicone guards, to put them on. If not, if you use painter's tape or scotch tape to hold it in place as you're gluing it, it will work just as well. All right, so now for this, you could use I forgot to add this at the beginning, but these are just the regular skewers, regular size skewers, and I am using it to give it a rim on the top of the planter. I thought that the other ones that I used were a little bit too thick for this part. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me being silly. You could use the same ones. But I had it at home, so I thought might as well. I could use it. Now, this top part is not going to stick with only using hot glue. That's the reason why I had the Gorilla Glue that I ran out of it. So I had to squeeze a little bit that I had of this all-purpose adhesive from the Dollar Tree. As the glue, the all-purpose adhesive was drying up, I did use some, any pins that I had at home to hold it in place. And once again, here's my trusty dandy nail enamel to sand it down. See, I thought that the other Dollar Tree sander that I have, it was too big, too bulky. That's the reason why I used this one. Now we're ready for painting. And this step was really quick. However, it did take a couple of hours to dry. And now I am ready to paint that that rim nice in gold. It defines its shape. I really like doing that. Now you don't have to do this, but I kind of thought you needed it. Just make it look a little more worn. And I do love gold, so that's why just a little bit more glam. Now, Joss & Main has this, and they have it in many different finishes. They have it in more of a galvanized finish, in a more industrial finish. Doesn't that fit just like a glove right there? I loved it. I thought I was screaming up for joy. I says, thank you, Lord. And look at that. My daughter's going to love them in her room. She is 14. My baby girl just turned 14. And I think they're going to look lovely in her room. There it is. See? It looks like wire, like a copper wire. I just used different plants and greenery, both from Dollar Tree and Joann's, to finish this look. I loved it. If you love it as much as I do, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Yay, the last project. This is the very, very, very simple little project. Dollar Tree has these right now. Oh, I bought them early spring, and they're cute as they are, but I kind of wanted to go by the inspiration. See, I do love my gold. So as you could see, this has also some gold in it. Now, I had gotten this back in Christmas time at Joann's, and I believe I only bought half a yard, if I'm not mistaken, and or maybe it was just a yard. It was I think it was like about $2, $2.50, but I think it gives a little bit more of that glam and a little sparkle, so a little more interest to the frame. Usually when you're going to go and buy frames like these, you're paying at least $10. So I did justify justify my little project here. Now, I am making sure that I'm gluing it straight. When you put hot glue to metal, it dries very, very quickly. So I had to just move very fast. And there it is. Now I was gonna put it back, I was gonna put a picture, but at this point I was too lazy. This was done at night. I did not want to go find a picture or print one, so I used what I had near me, which it was a napkin. I love buying these pretty napkins for every season. So I used my little bird's napkin here. I am going to put a different picture, but this was just for the show. Now I really love this. It pairs very well with my decor, the white and the gold. Well, I really hope that you enjoyed watching these videos, these tutorials. I hope you get to make one of these projects. If you do, please leave me a comment. Thank you for stopping by my small channel here. May God bless you and keep you, and may you draw closer to Him as He draws close to you. Bye-bye.